I didn't catch her cheating by snooping. Her phone betrayed her while I was eating dinner. Please help me reach 1,000 subscribers. If this story moves you, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. Now let me tell you how it ended. It started with something painfully ordinary. A phone buzzing on a quiet Tuesday night. I was sitting alone at the kitchen table, dinner half-eaten, the chair across from me empty. She was working late again. That part didn't bother me anymore. It had become routine. What bothered me was the phone lighting up beside my plate. The name on the screen wasn't mine. It wasn't anyone I recognized. She was always careful with her phone. Always locked. Always close. I tried to brush it off. Told myself I was overthinking. That suspicion was just my imagination looking for problems. Then I saw the message. I miss you. Can't wait to see you tonight. My hands went cold. The words were simple. Almost harmless. But they weren't meant for me. I didn't scroll. I didn't need context. The truth had already settled in my chest. Heavy, undeniable. It felt like the air had been ripped from the room. Like breathing suddenly required effort. I didn't confront her. Not that night. I waited. When she finally came home, we sat across from each other and ate in silence. The space between us felt suffocating. She checked her phone again and again, like it held something she was afraid to lose. I wanted to ask her. I wanted to break the silence. But I stayed still, hoping guilt would do the talking for her. It never did. As I stood to clear the table, the truth hit me with brutal clarity. There would be no confession. No apology. No honesty. She wasn't going to give me what I needed. So I made a choice. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse her. I grabbed my jacket, picked up my keys and walked out. No goodbye. No explanation. Just silence. For the first time in a long while, the decision felt entirely mine. I refused to stay in a life held together by lies. I refused to be an afterthought in my own relationship. The place I moved into afterward was small and plain, but it was mine. And in that quiet space, something unexpected happened. I felt lighter. Free from pretending. Free from doubt. Free from the constant ache of knowing something was wrong and choosing to ignore it. I buried myself in work. I kept my distance from friends. I didn't want sympathy. Being told I deserved better didn't change anything. What mattered was that I had left. Then she started reaching out. First I ignored the calls. When they turned into messages, longer, more desperate, I read them but I didn't reply. She wanted to talk. She wanted to explain. She said she never meant to hurt me. Part of me wondered if she truly regretted it. Another part already knew the answer. 2 weeks later, there was a knock at my door. I almost ignored it, convinced it was a mistake. Then I heard her voice. Please just open the door. I stayed frozen, hoping she'd leave. She didn't. The knocking grew louder. Then she said she'd been waiting for me to come back. I opened the door, not to welcome her in, but to see her clearly for the first time. She looked smaller somehow. Worn down. Her eyes were red, makeup smeared. Hands shaking as she tried to hold herself together. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I just need you to know how much I regret it. I didn't know what to say. A part of me still cared, but it was fading fast. I couldn't forget what I'd seen. I couldn't undo what she'd chosen. She stepped closer, tears falling freely. They were real. But they didn't change the past. That's when I understood something painful and final. She didn't miss me. She missed the comfort I gave her. The safety. The certainty that I would always stay. She hadn't loved me enough to protect what we had. She just didn't want to lose it now. I searched myself for the love I once felt. All I found was emptiness. I don't know if I can forgive you, I said quietly. You don't get to come back just because you regret it now. You didn't choose me when it mattered. She didn't argue. She just lowered her head. I think it's too late, I said. Then I closed the door. Because closure doesn't come from the person who breaks you. It comes from walking away and realizing your peace doesn't depend on their understanding. Sometimes healing isn't about them seeing what they lost. It's about you finally seeing that you were enough all along.